Texas News Primetime. Mike Johnson elected as House Speaker.
America's deadliest mass shooting of the year.
Former Vice President Mike Pence drops his candidacy for president.
Anti-Semitic mob storms Russian airport.
The UN General Assembly approves a humanitarian truce.
All this and more coming up on Texas News Primetime.
Good evening and welcome to Texas News Primetime. I'm Ella Denena.
And I'm Ethan Housewright. Let's get into tonight's top stories.
18 people were killed in America's deadliest mass shooting of the year in Lewiston, Maine this past Wednesday. Robert Card, the shooter, was a known name to multiple law enforcement departments after he made threats against the U.S. Army Reserves base he trained at. In July, Card was admitted to a mental health facility for 2 weeks after making threats against the base. Maine police were alerted about Card in September, though it is unclear if there was another incident or a resurfacing of the July occurrence. After about 2 weeks of high alert, the department moved on. On October 25th, Card killed 18 people at a bowling alley and restaurant. After a 2-day manhunt, he was found dead by a self-inflicted gunshot. Representative Tom Emmer from Minnesota was nominated by the GOP for Speaker of the House after Jim Jordan was pushed out of the running. However, hours after securing the nomination, Emmer dropped his bid after receiving backlash from far-right Republicans. Representative Mike Johnson of Louisiana followed as the House's 4th nomination. Winning support from both mainstream and conservative Republicans, Mike Johnson was elected Speaker in a 220 to 209 vote. This marks the end of 3 weeks with no House leader.
More than 1,000 people stormed a Russian airport to catch Jewish passengers deboarding a flight from Tel Aviv Sunday night. Videos from the airport show rioters carrying Palestinian flags, breaking down doors, and attempting to flip police cars. At least 20 people were injured as a mob broke past security and made its way to the tarmac. Passengers were rushed back into the plane for their safety. Meharry Medical College and other agencies began an initiative on Wednesday, October the 18th, to address health disparities in black communities. The 10-year initiative, called Together for Change, will collect genetic material from 500,000 black volunteers to create what would be the world's largest African ancestry genomic database. The initiative also includes a grant program to support research at Meharry and STEM programs for grade school children. As weather is expected to drop below 50 degrees this week, the City of Austin's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management has opened warming centers for those needing shelter. Austin Public Libraries, including the Cesar Chavez location, and public recreation facilities will be open during business hours for those seeking shelter from the cold. Now joining us on set is our correspondent, Hope Vanderberg. Hope, how are you doing? Why don't you tell us what's going on?
Hi, Ethan. I'm happy to be here tonight. Former Vice President Mike Pence has decided to drop his candidacy for the Republican nominee in the 2024 presidential race after struggling to raise campaign funding and gain public support. This announcement was made at the Republican Jewish Coalition's annual leadership summit this past weekend. Pence said he recognized it was not his time and has no regrets. Pence's former superior, President Donald Trump, currently has a sizable lead in the polls while Pence struggled to gain traction. It's a great time to fill your tanks as gas prices have plummeted nationally following this year's peak price in September. The drop of about 35 cents per gallon is an over 9% decline. Prices have dropped below $3 per gallon in Georgia, Mississippi, and Texas, while many other southern states fall close behind. A decline in the price of crude oil and slowing travel demand played significant roles in this price plummet. Several tragic mass shootings occurred over this past Halloween weekend. In Tampa, 2 were killed and 18 were injured early Sunday when a fight erupted between 2 groups in an area heavily populated with bars and clubs. In Chicago, 15 people were shot early Sunday at a large Halloween party. These and other shootings total 11 deaths and over 70 injuries over the past 3 days. This spike in mass shootings contributes to the national debate regarding gun violence and gun control policy.
Thanks for the update, Hope. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back to Texas News Primetime. After the UN Security Council failed 4 times to pass a peaceful resolution between Israel and Gaza, the UN General Assembly approved a humanitarian truce. While this resolution is the first made regarding Israel and Gaza, decisions made during the General Assembly are non-binding. Without the Security Council approving a ceasefire vote, Israel is not obligated by UN policy to stop their ground invasion into Gaza. Furthermore, only 12 other countries besides Israel and the United States opposed a motion calling for a sustained humanitarian truce, with 120 in favor and 45 abstaining. Cruise suspended its driverless car operations nationwide to rebuild public trust. The company made this decision after becoming the subject of a federal investigation related to incidents involving pedestrians in San Francisco. According to Austin officials, Cruise has received multiple complaints from Austin drivers and first responders about the cars not operating properly. The company said the decision is not related to any new on-road incidents, and they will take some time to focus on how to better their operations. Representative Jamal Bowman pleaded guilty on Thursday after being charged for falsely pulling a fire alarm at a congressional office. Bowman pulled the alarm before the House voted on a spending bill last month. The representative will have to pay the maximum fine of $1,000, serve 3 months probation, and write a letter of apology to Capitol Police Chief Tom Manger for the misdemeanor, which will be dismissed from his record following the 3-month probation period. Joining us now is Paisley Porter to fill us in on what's going on around the world. How are you doing, Paisley?
I'm really great. How are you?
Awesome.
Well, let's get right into it. Hurricane Otis Wednesday morning, killing 45 people with 47 still missing. The tropical storm turned into a Category 5 hurricane in 12 hours and is the strongest storm to ever hit Mexico's Pacific coast. The hurricane hit the coastal city of Acapulco, a popular tourist destination. Rescue operations and aid began over the weekend but have slowed down due to blocked roads and communication disruptions. A meeting convened by Pope Francis over the future of the Roman Catholic Church ended in a victory for women last week. The Synod of Synodality is a meeting designed for church leaders to vote on new precedents for the church, and it was the first time women voted. The final summary stated women should have, quote, more responsibilities and more say in the workings of the church. However, the role of female deacons and LGBTQ+ topics were not included in the final summary of the Synod. The ongoing Israel-Hamas war has now entered its second stage. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the second stage is to destroy Hamas governing and military capabilities through a ground invasion that began Friday. The assault in the northern Gaza Strip has sustained the most fighting between Israel and Hamas since Israel declared war nearly 3 weeks ago.
A federal judge reinstated a gag order on former President Donald Trump in his 2020 election fraud case on Sunday. The order, which imposes restrictions on what Trump can say about witnesses and prosecutors, had temporarily been placed on hold 9 days prior. Trump has been fined twice for violating gag orders over the duration of this case, resulting in $15,000 worth of fines. The Biden administration published an executive order earlier today outlining principles for the use of artificial intelligence in the federal government. The order requires AI developers to share safety test results and other information with the government. The order also establishes standards to help label and track AI-generated content and establishes a cybersecurity program to fix vulnerabilities in software. Still going through COVID brain fog? Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania may have found a solution. Patients experiencing COVID brain fog may have a viral reservoir in their gut that impairs the absorption of tryptophan, a neurotransmitter responsible for telling the body when to make serotonin. Serotonin is important for communication between nerves all across the brain, including the hippocampus. Low levels of serotonin impair this communication, leading to memory loss, brain fog, and fatigue. COVID brain fog was resolved in lab mice after being given Prozac, a medication which increases serotonin, usually prescribed for those with depression. Currently, the researchers are still waiting for permission to conduct human clinical trials. We're still thinking about the incredible Austin City Limits Music Festival earlier this month. While at ACL, our reporters Sophia Kurtz and Paulina Pearson chatted with a few of the artists who performed to get you the inside scoop of their music.
Hey TSTV News.
Hey TSTV News.
It's Paulina. We are here at ACL.
I'm Sophia Kurtz. We're at ACL Weekend 2, and we're going to interview some artists today.
I'm Emlyn.
Corey Kent. What's up, y'all?
Karuk.
Quarters of change. My name's Attila. My name is Ben. Ben.
I'm Jasper.
We just performed. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. I love Austin. Yeah, we've been waiting to play a festival a long time, and we were just in Austin.
This is a legendary festival.
Well, how does it feel to be playing a legendary festival?
Legendary. Today's set was f***ing rocking. A lot of our heaviest stuff, our exciting stuff, but we have an eclectic range.
I usually walk around the stage like that.
He had a lot of room to play. He was in the rafters at one point, if you saw that.
You are the first boy band I've interviewed.
Hell yeah.
Is that what we are to you?
Yes. How would you classify?
Are we a boy band or are we a band of boys?
A man band.
Youth. We're boys. Nah, I'm 23. I am at least like approaching, like, not man, but like semi-adult. Yeah. I just want to be taken seriously.
We're all from New York City, and we met long before this band started. We were just like friends in elementary school, middle school. The city, New York City, is very connected in that way, and yeah, we're super lucky.
I'm from New York originally, actually.
Yeah?
Oh, where in New York?
Nowhere interesting. I'm from Long Island.
Yeah, that is super not interesting.
Yeah. But when I was 10, I moved to London. My mom's from Australia and my dad's Greek, so I have 4 passports.
Where's the fourth one?
So Greece, Australia, UK, US.
I can't count. Okay.
You guys are musicians, not mathematicians.
Correct.
Oh my god, I was so bad at math.
There's a lot of 1, 2, 3, 4.
Leave me in math class. I'd be the
good at math, but we would ditch math a lot to play music.
Next interview, we're just gonna write down equations for you guys to figure out and rank you guys on how fast you could complete them.
I'll win.
What has inspired you guys to pursue a career in music? I'll ask you guys individually, so.
The fact that I'm so bad at math. I think I've always just loved music, and it feels like I can make a career out of it with these guys, so that's inspiring about it for me.
To avenge my father's death. Texas.
Okay, great. So Polito's gonna ask you guys some questions.
Check.
Thanks for mic checking. What is like y'all's biggest like musical inspiration, do you think, or who?
I love the Police.
Matt and I both love Jeff Buckley a lot.
Oh, yeah.
One last thing, could y'all do a little hook 'em for UT like this? It's like the rock. Yeah, no, touch the thumb. You gotta touch the thumb. Yeah. No. Horns up. Yay.
Hook 'em.
University of Texas. Yay. Okay, thank you guys so much.
Coming up after the break, we have reporter Tommy Yarish joining us to talk about sports.
Welcome back. Joining us on Press Box on Primetime is Tommy Yarish. Tommy, how's it going?
It's going good, man. Thanks for having me.
So Texas football defeated BYU this weekend. How did they look?
Yeah, Texas definitely looked good after a close loss to Houston. Let's go ahead and roll the highlights from Saturday in Austin. A little bit different for Texas football offensively. It's the new kid on the block, Malik Murphy, a redshirt freshman from Inglewood, California, making his first start for the Longhorns. And so far, one play in, so good. Across the middle to Adonai Mitchell. That's a guy you want to get the ball in the hands to of a young quarterback especially. Now, Texas has not housed a punt return yet this year. Xavier Worthy said that he's come very close to getting there this year, and now he finally does. On this 74-yard kick return, again, Texas's first punt return of the season. Worthy houses it 7-0 Texas early on. The Longhorns going to continue to keep on rolling. Jonathan Brooks has had a phenomenal year filling in the shoes of Bijan Robinson and Roshan Johnson. He runs over 3 Cougars there to score his 7th touchdown of the season. Continuing on now in the second quarter, Malik Murphy starting to get comfortable after an interception and a fumble earlier, launches a deep ball to Adonai Mitchell. That's the first touchdown for the young quarterback. Texas goes up 21-6. Later on in the fourth quarter now, Adonai Mitchell again across the middle. Again, getting Malik Murphy comfortable was so big in this game. Adonai Mitchell certainly helping with that. And then Jaden Blue with the cherry on top, bouncing to the outside for a 30-yard touchdown. His first career touchdown as a Longhorn. Texas wins it 35-6. Steve Sarkisian picks up the win over his alma mater. There's the man who recruited him on his official visit, Kalani Sitake, head coach at BYU. And Texas goes 7-1 with a tough Kansas State team coming into town next Saturday.
All right, a big question for Texas coming into Saturday was how the offense would fare without Quinn Ewers. What did you make of Malik Murphy's debut leading the Longhorns?
Yeah, obviously when your starting quarterback goes out in Quinn Ewers, you're going to have questions about how the offense looks. You have a guy in Malik Murphy who has not started a game yet in college. He's taken some snaps this year, was out with an injury last year after he suffered it in a state championship game back in California. Overall, not great, but also not bad. Malik Murphy gets you the win, and that's the most important thing. You certainly want to take away the 2 turnovers. The interception, which, quite frankly, he just kind of got flustered on the play, was a bad snap, and threw it right to a BYU defender, right? So you want to eliminate that. And then the fumble really was just a bad block on his blind side, which caused the defender to come from behind and knock the ball away. So you take that out of the equation, and he still does pretty good. He goes 13 of 18 after that, after the early interception for over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. So a lot to like from Malik Murphy, but Kansas State coming into town this Saturday is a very tough defense that's been playing well all year. I think one of the hottest teams in the country. They blanked Houston last week. Remember, Texas and Houston was only a 7-point difference 2 weeks ago. So you continue to want to get your quarterback comfortable, set him up in those crossing routes that we saw with Adonai Mitchell there, and he's going to do just fine.
Now, it still looks like Quinn Ewers will be out with Kansas State coming in at number 25 this Saturday. What are some of the keys to the game for the Longhorns against their 4th AP Top 25 opponent this year?
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Their 4th AP Top 25 opponent this year. And Kansas State, like I said, one of the hottest teams in the country. This is going to be a massive test for the Texas defense because Kansas State has 2 quarterbacks that can really beat you. They've been running a 2-quarterback system as of late. Will Howard was their starter coming into the season, struggled throughout most of the first half of the year, but he has been on fire as of late. 5 touchdowns in his last 2 games. He's the guy who can spread the ball around to the receivers and make throws that can hurt the defense, which Texas has struggled with this year. The other thing that Texas has struggled with this year at times is defending quarterbacks who can really run the ball very well, and that's what Kansas State has in their 2nd quarterback, Avery Johnson. 2 weeks ago, he had 5 rushing touchdowns against Texas Tech. He absolutely demolished the Red Raiders on the ground, so the Longhorns going to have to account for both of those guys, and Will Howard can kind of run it too, so no matter what you see on the field, you're going to have to account for a dual-threat quarterback. The Texas secondary has not had their best stretch of games here the last couple weeks. They looked good on Saturday, had 2 interceptions, but this is a much better Kansas State offense coming into town in Austin on Saturday. So it's going to be a difficult challenge for Steve Sarkisian's crew, who is banged up. They've struggled with injuries on the defensive side of the ball as well, but we'll see if the Longhorns can pick up their 3rd top 25 victory of the year and continue to push for a Big 12 championship appearance.
All right. After the break, we'll be joined with Amelie Baquero for entertainment. Welcome back to Texas News Primetime. Now on to entertainment. Joining us now is Amelie Baquero to give us the 411 on the entertainment world. How are you, Amelie?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. So, Friends star Matthew Perry dies at age 54. The actor was nominated for an Emmy Award for his role as Chandler Bing, the sarcastic but lovable personality in the show Friends. The show ran from 10 seasons during 1994 to 2004, telling the story of a group of 6 friends living in New York City. Perry was found dead Saturday at his Los Angeles home, and the cause of death was listed as deferred by Los Angeles medical examiner, indicating that an additional investigation is required.
I know that many fans of the show are devastated, as well as his castmates. Have you seen the show Friends?
Yes, actually I was rewatching it as this happened, so obviously I'm devastated, and just watching the show now is just different. Well, Swifties' antics are still up with the recent re-release of Taylor Swift's Grammy Award-winning album 1989. Swift has been re-releasing her first 6 albums to regain ownership of her music. Fans around the world watch the clock with bated breath late Thursday night for the album to drop, eager to hear the updated sounds from the first 16 songs, including Blank Space, Wildest Dreams, and Shake It Off, as well as the 5 new tracks from the vault. Swift announced the release date back in August during her last performance of the Eras Tour. Fans are still looking for hits as to when she will be dropping her last 2 albums, Reputation and her self-titled album, Taylor Swift.
Are you a Swiftie, and are you anticipating this new album?
Yes, I am. I was anticipating this album. I do like it a lot. I love her new remix with Kendrick Lamar, Bad Blood. So good.
Have you listened to the new album yet?
Yes, I have. It's so good. The highly anticipated Five Nights at Freddy's movie was a smashing box office success on its opening weekend. The movie grossed $80 million in the US and $52.6 million internationally. Five Nights at Freddy's claimed Many titles, such as the largest horror opening in 2023 and the highest North American opening for a PG-13 horror movie since The Mummy Returns in 2001. You can now see the film in theaters and streaming on Peacock.
Recently, many video games have been receiving movie adaptations. Are you a fan of this trend?
Not really. I'm not really into video games, but I will for sure watch the movie.
As always, you can follow us at Texas News Primetime and on TSTV News on social media just by searching. Also, take us with you on the go by subscribing to our podcast available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. Thank you for watching and good night.